You think after 10 years in Japan, I would be used to everything in here, right?
Oh my god, what is that?
Well, I have to be honest, I'm still confused and I'm still shocked with a lot of things. So today we're going to dive into the culture shocks that never went away. The first one is actually how quiet the train is. Even after 10 years in Japan, the silence on the train still feels unreal. No phone conversation, no talking loudly, it's just like a moving library. Well, unless it's a Friday night. It's either a group of maybe oji-san, oba-chan try to solve the problem, the world problem at the fullest, at the maximum volume they have, or either the drunk people include every range, every ages. Drunk people just get so drunk and couldn't even control themselves on the train. That doesn't include those who feel like to do the karaoke on the train. Number 2, the customer service is too good. Like, Japanese customer service is like super next level. On top of that, they will bow to you when you order, when you enter, and even when you leave. I think even once I had a staff saying sorry because of the waiter was bad and I still come to the restaurant. Like, what?
Okay.
But let's be real, it's not always perfect like we might thought or like what I have talked before. Especially these days, I think I saw some stores like have the sign on the door on like at the entrance saying that they don't have English menu or they don't accept any foreigners into the restaurants. Well, I think that kind of thing is still a growing issue and there is always two sides of a story, so I'm not sure if if you actually deep dive into the topic. I think it will take too long. But overall, I think Japan is still have a good customer service, like the efficient and polite, one of like the polite countries that have a good customer service to the customers. Number 3, cash is still a king. Even in 2025, I think a lot of people might move on to mobile banking, mobile paying, but in Japan, cash is still something that you might want to bring it with you anyway. You might be shocked if you come to Japan because there are still many places require coins or prefers coins and cash over the credit cards. Although I would have to say that's good news because a lot of convenience stores, a lot of department stores, and a lot of store like local store as well, they tend to adapt more. Somehow they might accept IC card, like the Suica Pasmo card. They might accept credit card, and I think some of the famous chain store also accept like WeChat Pay, and some even accept the Apple Pay too. So you have a lot of choices, but I would still recommend you to check first before you actually enter or eat there so that you don't have any problems in paying. Number 4, no trash cans, but no trash. I could say that you barely see the public trash cans in Tokyo, except in the gardens or in the famous tourist spots. But somehow it's still clean, how? But that doesn't end there, because when you actually find one trash can, find a place you can throw away your trash, the problem is that you still have to separate the trash as well. It's like a sorting quiz game that you have to guess it right. And if you don't get it right, of course you won't get any punishment, but somehow you might get some eyesight.
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye.
Number 5, seasonal everything. Japan is obsessed with seasons, with festival, with events. Everything from drinks to snacks to food, even to some items. They are always related to the seasons or the event that are occurring at that time. So let's say for spring, for example, if it's spring, the things that always come with spring will be matcha, sakura, or strawberry. These 3 things, I see it every single year. Oh, speaking of which, I actually made the 2 videos. That one is about the matcha matsuri that published last month, and the another one is actually the Starbucks seasonal drinks and food in May. So make sure to check them out too. Culture shock number 6, the excessive politeness. Politeness in Japan is baked into daily life. You met someone, you bow. You're going to live some places, you bow. You're going to the shrine, you bow. Even sometimes I see people bow while talking. But it's actually a good and cute thing, and it's also something that I'm kinda get used to, and I even do that as well. However, living in Kyoto might be a different story because somehow Kyoto politeness might be politeness with Kyoto energy. So it's kind of like a British sarcasm that are wrapped in a kimono. Let's say, for example, if you wear something colorful and fashionable in Tokyo, some people might just say, oshare desu ne. But in Kyoto, you might got something like, nanka kikonasenai desu ne. It sounds like a compliment, but you don't really know what they actually mean. Well, I think that's kind of like the part of like the charm of Japan and Japanese language. Culture shock number 7, which is the slippers everything. Get ready because some of the Japanese homes might even have more slippers than the people. In-house, you have like indoor slippers, you have the bathroom slippers, you have guest slippers, and you might have even like guest of the guest slippers. Slippers everywhere. To this day, I have to double check the color or the size or like the pattern of the slippers when I get into the bathroom and make sure I wear the different one when I got out. Number 8. I think a lot of people might have known already, but in Japan there is no tipping. So make sure do not never leave the money on table. You might think like, you just like their service really much and you wanna give them some money. They will probably think that you forget the money or you forget the change, and they will chase you until the end of the street or like until they find you to just give it back to you. Some of the restaurants already include the VAT, the tax, and also the service charge already, so you don't really have to worry about that. So you don't really have to think much about that, although sometimes you might just feel weird not like giving any tips. Number 9, extreme punctuality. Japan runs on atomic clock level punctuality. The train always arrive on time, and also the delivery will actually come on the time that they say on the application. And a lot of you might not know, but if the train is actually late and you happen to work or study in Japan, you can actually ask the train station staff for the shiensho meisho, which is kind of like the delay slip from the train line. And you can actually show it to your boss or your teacher to prove that the train is delayed. That's why you are late. Last but not least, love for paperwork. Japan loves paperwork. Everything can be paperwork and you have a lot of things you can sign on. And if you plan to live in Japan, don't even forget about income. Income is like a personal seal and you will have to use it even these days, especially when you want to open the bank account or you have something to deal with the bank account, and also like some kind of contract, like let's say apartment contract and stuff like that. You will also need income to do that. So even after living in Japan for more than 10 years, I would say that a lot of things still surprise me and somehow I still don't get it at some point, but I'm kinda used to it and I still love to live in Japan so far. If you are living in Japan or you plan to visit or even come and live in Japan, please comment down below which one is the most shocking one or which one still gets you every time. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share to all your friends or anyone who plans to come or live in Japan. And I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, stay healthy. Bye bye. Mata ne.